What is up, everybody? This is Cam Jennings coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. I hope you guys are doing amazing out there on this fine Tuesday morning. Today, I want to talk to you guys about writing profitable emails. Now, I cannot speak to you on using AI to write profitable emails because that is not what I do. And I can speak to you on how I write profitable emails that make me money. And that's a little bit different than just being good at writing. It's not the same kind of deal. It's not the same thing. The way you might have wrote essays in high school, or the way you might have, I'm spilling my water everywhere. The way you might have, wrote poetry to your girlfriend, like that's a different kind of writing than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how to write a profitable email that will make you some money. All right, and maybe you could teach AI to do this kind of thing for you, but that's not what I do. What I thought I'd do today is I'd give you an example. I'd show you something I just wrote this morning and kind of walk you through what I was doing in that email. For those of you keeping score, this does happen to be a mighty few. The Mighty Few, I should say. The Mighty Few, Season 2, Episode 2. That's right, I am back. This is The Mighty Few, back again. My little social media show. And this is Episode 2. If you didn't catch Episode 1, where I talked about input, output, and function in marketing, be sure to go back and check that out. It was a humdinger, I'd like to think. So anyways, listen, for me to share with you about profitable email, what I really need to do is I need to share my screen. Okay, so welcome back to writing profitable emails. This is part 2 because in part 1, this big dumb animal here did not realize that once he hit the go live button on Facebook, he could not share his screen. He could not go back and forth for whatever reason. I don't know why that would be. That seems pretty counterintuitive to me, but whatever. Here we are in part 2. So what you're looking at right now is a sales page to my 4-hour Money Machines training. Right now, this is an audio training, and this is what the sales page says: 4-hour Money Machines, rinse and repeat. 14 modules, 3 hours and 52-minute masterclass audio training. It's going to show you exactly how to build simple, profitable trainings in 4 hours or less that will not only have people begging to buy, but have them glad they did and ready to buy again. And then it goes on and on and talks about what is going on in this training and all that good stuff, okay? So this is 4-hour Money Machines. Now, my belief is that a sales page needs to do a certain thing. Okay, what it doesn't need to do is bore people to death and have them skimming constantly. These are my beliefs. Not everyone is gonna agree with me, of course. And I want you to know that I am pretty well read on sales copy. You're not hearing the rantings of someone who read one copywriting book and now they are some kind of fake expert or anything. I'm not claiming to be some kind of sales copy expert, but I've been around the block and I know how to create sales pages that actually will make me money. This one makes me money. But is it just the sales page that's working for me? No, it's not. I don't feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like the sales page serves a purpose, and its purpose is to convey what the product does properly, right? And when I say convey it properly, I mean convey it in a way that builds curiosity, that creates captivation, that gets people interested in what I have to say, right? Now, I'm not talking about lying. I'm not talking about being some kind of sketchy nefarious person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about conveying the USP properly on the sales page, okay? When we think about what makes your product unique, what makes it interesting, what makes it a little bit different from what other people have going on out there, what got you excited to create the product in the first place. Um, Whatever that is, can you represent it? Can you convey that properly on the sales page to where you can get other people excited about it the way you were excited to create it? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So that's the job that the sales page does, in my view, conveying the product and the USP properly in a way that captivates people, that gets them interested in it, that gets them excited. However, I don't really feel like the sales page does the heavy lifting when it comes to sales. I feel like all the messages, all the messages that you put out getting people to the sales page does a lot of the heavy lifting. Now that's a little backwards from what a lot of people feel like. A lot of people feel like the sales page does the heavy lifting and you just get people there any which way you can, right? That is not the way I feel. I feel like getting people to the sales page not only qualifies them to be on my sales page, but also does a lot of the captivating in and of itself. A lot of the curiosity building in and of itself. A lot of the hype is built off of the sales page. These are things that I can build off of the sales page. So by the time people get to my sales page, they're already somewhat interested in this, and the sales page becomes this kind of, this kind of system that pushes them over and gets them to buy. So that's kind of how I look at it. So when I talk about writing profitable emails, I'm really talking about writing the stuff that does the heavy lifting, okay? So let me show you an email I just wrote this morning. I just wrote this morning promoting this very course, okay? Now I want you to keep in mind this is going to be a 4-day email campaign that I am running. I'm going to run it Monday through Thursday. It's 40% off, for this on these 4 days. And today was day 2. Today was day 2 for the campaign. And if you're curious about how I'm doing that 4-day campaign, I kind of look at it like half speed. Because I sent an email out on Monday. I'm going to send an email out today, which I already did. I'm going to send another email out on tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And then on Thursday, the last day, I'm going to be sending 4 emails out. Okay? So I look at it like half speed because normally I would send 2 emails out a day. But I'm only going to send 1 email out a day for these first 3 days. And on the 4th day, there's going to be 4 emails. On the 4th day, like, scarcity is going to come into play a little bit more urgency, just because of the fact that it's the last day of the sale. This product is 40% off. So on that last day, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about how the coupon's going to expire. Okay, so that is kind of what's going on. That's how I'm doing the campaign. It's kind of like the 3 and 4. So I got 3 days where I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 emails. Very kind of like soft touches. You know what I mean? Just, oh, hey, by the way. Oh, hey, by the way. Oh, hey, by the way. Just boom, boom, boom. And then on the last day, boom, 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 boom. Right? So that's the kind of pattern on this. I don't look at it like a really, really hard promotion. I look at it like more of a kind of like a casual promotion. So what I will be doing probably after this is I will be moving into a new product. 4-Hour Money Machines is not a new product. It's a product that's been on the market for a little bit. I just happen to be putting it on sale. But after I finish this promotion, if you wonder what I do after sending 4 emails out in 1 day, what do I do after that? What I'll do is I will be starting a new product launch on Sunday. On Sunday, I will be starting a new product launch, and that one will also be a 4-day launch. It will be 2 emails a day for the first 3 days, and then 4 emails on the last day of the promotion. Now, all that's going to be pre-scheduled. Okay, I'm going on vacation Sunday, and I won't be back until Friday. So I am going to Vinton County, the least populated county in the state of Ohio. So if you want to know where I go on vacation, I'm not a beach vacation guy anymore. Don't like the beach vacations anymore. I like to get away from people. That's what I like to do on vacation, get away from people. So, anyways, enough about that. What does the email look like that I sent out today promoting this course? What does the email look like that I think does the heavy lifting? Okay, let's look at it. Okay, so here's the email I sent out today. Some people are allergic to money. Okay, this idea of creating courses in 4 hours that can make you money, right? Now keep in mind, do you notice how I'm already kind of presuming that people read that last email? I sent an email out the day before talking about 4-hour money machines. So writing an email like this, talking about something that I talked about yesterday, without like explaining what it was, okay, what am I doing here? So this is like a degree of world building, okay? What I'm doing here is like, if you don't know what I'm talking about right here, that means you're not on the inside of the joke. You're not on the inside. You're not in the know. You don't know what's happening because you didn't read yesterday's email, okay? So like this idea of kind of putting little tiny things in your emails that kind of reference things that happened yesterday or the day before, having these kind of like running jokes or these kind of running narratives in your emails. This is a part of like world building, okay? And so that's part of the rules in my world, okay? Is that like narratives run. That they don't just last one email. Sometimes if you're here for a while, you get to know the place and you understand the inside jokes, you understand the narratives, right? So that's kind of, when I write like that, that's kind of where that's going, right? So this idea of creating courses in 4 hours that can make you money. Now you might think, well, Cam, I don't know. I feel like I can make a course in as little as an hour. So 4 hours, that's nothing special. But the problem is getting it to make money, right? So when I do something like this, when I adopt the voice of the customer or I adopt the voice of the prospect, what am I doing, man? I'm using it to address the elephants in the room, okay? When I think about someone hitting my sales page, my 4-hour money machine sales page, and they say, I don't want to buy this. Why? What are some reasons they might not want to buy this? Well, one of those reasons is maybe they think 4 hours is not really that exceptional, you know? Maybe they think, hey, I can go over to AI and have it bang out a special report for me in about 30 minutes. 4 hours, I don't need to spend 4 hours creating a course. That's an elephant in the room. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting it right there on the table, you know? I'm letting people know I know exactly what you're thinking. I know exactly about these elephants in the room, all right? So anyways, I say, you might be thinking this, boom, and there you are, getting it to make money. That's a key component to all of this. Heck, you can run over to your friendly neighborhood AI right now and have it bang out a special report for you in about 30 minutes. But we both know what the problem is. You have to figure out how to get people to care about it. Now, I capitalize you and I capitalize care. Why? Because when people read it, I want them to emphasize those words. You have to figure out how to get people to care about it. That's why I'm doing it, right? I want people to emphasize those words. It's like the way that I want them to read what I just wrote. It's the way I want them to read it. Now, also you might notice in this email, I use ellipsis generously. I use these ellipses very generously. You also notice there's not more than usually 3 lines per, there's usually no more than like 3 lines per paragraph. So email copy, it doesn't follow the traditional rules of, grammar, okay? I don't care about grammar or proper grammar etiquette when I'm writing email copy. What I care about is impact, okay? And I create more impact when I do things the way I do them, okay? When I break things up so that they're easier to read, okay? So that's why I do things like that. Why the ellipsis, right? Because I want people to pause when they're reading this. When I say uh, AI right now and have it bang out a special report for you in about 30 minutes, dot, 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 but we both know what the problem is, okay? I want people to pause when they read that. It's the way I have them reading it, okay? It's not just reading it, it's not just skimming it. I want you to read it a certain way, right? And that is why these things are done this way. So believe me when I say profitable courses in 4 hours, I'm talking about something different than what you or your cousin or your wife's sister's brother or your man-hating boss can do. Courses that actually make money. That's what I'm talking about. Now, some of you out there might be thinking, well, Cam, I don't know about that. I don't really want to create digital courses. I'm too busy, right? So what am I doing right here when I say, so believe me, when I say profitable courses in 4 hours, I'm talking about something different than what you or your cousin or your wife's sister's brother or your man-hating boss can do. Courses that actually make money. What am I doing? I am being funny, right? This is humor, right? And the reason I'm doing it is to disarm people, okay? I don't want people looking at me like I'm just some kind of flim-flam man, you know, some con artist that just pulled up with the wagon and he's got like, like a shelf full of medicine that isn't really going to help you, like tonics and creams and lotions, and none of them are actually going to help you, right? I don't want people seeing me like that, man. Humor is a way to relate to people. Humor is a way to kind of like, not in a nefarious way, but in a good way, like kind of like, disarm their defenses of not seeing you as a person, right? Just kind of like disarm their defenses a little bit so they're more like receptive to what you have to say, right? So humor is a big part of what I do in email. And usually most of my emails have a degree of humor in them. Now you might think, well, Cam, I'm not funny. All right. Well, you don't have to be funny, okay? Like, that humor that comes out in my emails, that's just a part of my personality. All right. You don't have to be funny in your emails. What you have to do is you need to connect with your true voice, right? You need to figure out like how to write the same way that you talk, right? That's what you need to figure out. A lot of times when people they go to write, they got all these preconceived notions about what it's supposed to sound like, and it's not your fault. You've been trained how to write your whole life. Since grade school you've been trained how to write and how not to write. We've all been through the 5-paragraph essay. But when you're writing email, it's a little like traditional like novel writing, in the sense that you got to try to find your true voice, right? You got to write in a way that sounds like how you're talking, right? So anyways, in addition to a few other things, because you're trying to sell something, but part of it is letting your true voice shine through. So anyways, using a little humor here. Now some of you might say, "Now what am I doing here?" Now some of you might be thinking, "Well, Cam, I don't know about that. I don't really want to create digital courses. I'm too busy." What am I doing? I'm going back to elephant in the room, aren't I? I'm adopting the customer's voice again. I've done it again. I go back to this age-old technique right here. I'm adopting the customer's voice and I'm addressing elephants in the room. And to you, I'll say that is fair. This is what I'm saying to the person who says they're too busy, they don't want to create digital courses. And I say that's fair. Having the power to create products in 4 hours or less that generate income for you, well, that's not for everybody, right? I mean, some people don't have time to create income generating assets. They're too busy with their job making them miserable, or going to family birthday parties, or binge watching their favorite show on Netflix or something. Happens. Not everybody cares about money that much. I get it. Heck, I knew one guy who I'm pretty sure might have been allergic to money. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm going back to humor. Okay, I don't have time as a legitimate reason why you can't create passive income generating assets. It's ridiculous. So I'm pointing out, like, I'm kind of poking fun at this person a little bit, lightheartedly, right? But this right here is important. Not everybody cares about money that much. I get it. Heck, I knew one guy who I'm pretty sure might have been allergic to money. Okay, Why does that matter? That's funny, that's a joke, but why does it matter? It's a joke because now we know what this subject line means. Some people are allergic to money. The thing that got them to open up the email, the thing that's repeated in the first line of this email, is finally paid off down here. Okay, it's finally paid off. They're gonna be reading all this stuff, and then finally they figure out, oh, that's what that subject line was all about. So the subject line gets paid off. Okay, now it's very important when you write email that the subject line gets paid off. Okay, that is part of getting people to trust you. That's part of keeping people interested in what you have to say. That's part of building good rapport with your customer base. Okay, so they have to. You got to pay off the subject line. All right. So the subject line that I put up there about people being allergic to money is kind of interesting and funny, but I have to pay it off somehow. It has to be addressed in the email itself, and this is where it gets addressed. This is how that fits into the story that I'm telling. Okay, not everybody cares about money that much. I get it. Heck, I know one guy who I'm pretty sure might have been allergic to money. LOL. However, if you do care about making some more money, creating some simple products that actually work for you instead of the other way around, creating some simple products that actually work for you. See, it's the way I want them to say it. If you do care about making some more money, creating some simple products that actually work for you instead of the other way around, ... then you might poke your nose at my sales page and take a closer look at my 4-hour Money Machines course. It's based on a strategy that I've used to pay for quite a bit of those birthday parties, Netflix subscriptions, and avoid having to work at a 9 to 5 for some man-hating boss. So check it out if that sounds interesting to you. Now, I want to talk for a second and give credit where credit's due. Like this casual kind of like pitch right here. If you do care about this stuff, then you might poke your nose at my sales page and take a closer look at my 4-hour Money Machines. This casual, like, well, if you're interested in this, hey, give my thing a look. Like, now I gotta tell you, like, I learned this technique from Ben Settle, okay? That's not how I used to do my closes, and I don't always do them like that. I don't always do my pitches like this. But it's something over the last couple years I've grown quite fond of. Just being kind of casual, like, I really don't care if you check this out or not, but if you're interested in that, here's this thing. I made this thing. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, here you go. If not, go kick rocks. I don't really care. Like that kind of casual, I don't care if you do or you don't kind of approach to pitching. I learned that from Settle, and I think it's a really cool technique. I don't know where he learned it from, but I think it's great, and I've adopted it quite a bit. I don't always use it, but I do find myself using it quite a bit these days. And this actual wording, you might poke your nose at my sales page. I don't think that's something that Settle would say. This is just the way I talk. This is the way I talk. So when I say I adopted this kind of like casual pitching technique from Ben Settle, I don't mean that I am copying his style of writing. That's not what I mean. I have my own style of writing. What I mean is this kind of like strategy, this kind of tactic of not caring whether someone buys something or not. Not really having a dog in the fight, which is it's funny, really. It's ridiculous. I mean, you don't have a dog in the fight of whether or not you sell your own product. It's like, huh? That doesn't even make sense to me. But I love it. It's so contrasting to everything that's happening. Like this whole email is about getting someone to buy something, and then at the end, basically saying, I don't care if you buy this or not, but like, I put it out there for people who care about this kind of thing. So if you care about this kind of thing, then here you go. You can check it out if you want to. I think it's a great way to pitch. Like 3 years from now, I might be doing something different, which is kind of like a testament to the fact that I think you should always be kind of learning and exploring different ways of doing things. But right now, I'm really into this kind of like casual, I don't care if you do or you don't kind of pitching. So Anyways, that's kind of what this is. Very casual. It's based on a strategy that I've used to pay for quite a bit of those birthday parties, Netflix subscriptions, and avoid having to work a 9 to 5 for some man-hating boss. Back to a little bit of humor here. So check it out. If that sounds interesting to you, that's all I got. Keep her between the ditches, and I'll see you in there. So this right here, like I say, that's all I got, and I didn't realize that I was saying this so much in my emails. That's just the way I talk. Um, I'll say lots of times that's all I got, and that's the way I talk, and it just shows up in my emails. But like people started responding to me by email and ending their responses with "That's all I got," like that, and I didn't realize it was a catchphrase So now when I say "That's all I got," I'm aware that this is like some kind of a catchphrase that people think that I'm doing. And another one is "Keep her between the ditches." Now, man, keep her between the ditches. That's just like I'm from Ohio, okay, and I remember people leaving parties and telling people to keep her between the ditches. They're talking about driving, okay? They're talking about, not going off the road driving. And, when I was a kid, I was a child in the 80s. And let me tell you something. When I heard people saying that, it was generally because they'd all been drinking at a party. They'd all been drinking, brewskis at a party. So when they leave, they're like, hey, keep her between the ditches, Don't go off the road or anything. They're talking about driving. So why am I talking about it like that here? Why do I say keep her between the ditches in this email? Well, for me, I am just kind of relating this email back to real life. Like, hey, I know you're going to get off the computer. I know you're going to get out of your phone, and you're going to have to be out there in real life, and you're going to be, out there driving. I'm basically saying stay safe out there. I'm basically saying, hey, stay safe out there. Have a great day. And then what am I doing in this last line? I'll see you in there. Okay, what is that? That's like presuming, right? When I say I'll see you in there, I'm saying I'll see you in the training. Like it's like presupposition, I'm presuming you're gonna buy that. I'm presuming you're gonna buy this thing. And does this work? It does work. It does work a little bit. Now that's my anecdotal experience, So I don't always use presupposition, but I do use it, and that's what I'm using right here when I say I'll see you in there. Most times I end up using some form of presupposition where I just assume that people are going to buy my thing, which is really funny, honestly, if you think about it. When I say I'll see you in there, it's almost like it's contradicting when I say up here in this pitch, like I don't, if you're interested in it, here you go, buy it, don't buy it, whatever. But then down here I say I'll see you in there, like I'm assuming they're going to buy it. Well, that's the magic of email copy, right? It's about impact. It's not about always, am I contradicting some of these parts? Because see, when I say I'll see you in there, I'm basically saying, if you're interested in this, I'll see you in there. If this is something that appeals to you, hey, I'll see you in there. And when I say I'll see you in there, yes, I'm presuming that they're going to buy. But what else am I doing, right? I'm like putting us on the same page. The person who reads this, oh, they're my buddy now, right? They're my friend now, right? We're in this together. I'll see you in there, We're partners in crime. I'll see you inside the training, right? So it's kind of like rapport building. You know what I mean? So that's the email that I sent this morning. It's for 4-Hour Money Machines. Now, if you look at this email and you'll notice it's written in a very casual style. It's written in my style. And I guess the point that I'm trying to make with this email is it is written in my style. Very casual, kind of a little bit funny here and there. Making a point and directing people to my product. But I think that what is most important with this email, in my opinion, is that like there's a method, there is a point to every single thing that I've written here. I've went through this with you part by part, piece by piece, and you can see that every piece serves a purpose. I don't just it's not just like on and on and on without having a point. Everything I've done here, serves a purpose, and that purpose is to pull people closer around me and to drive them to this product I would like for them to buy. Okay? So that is what this is about. So even though it seems casual and it seems kind of funny, you got to understand, it's not that it's an illusion. It's just that there's more to it, right? It's more complicated than just, oh, that's just, Cam, writing a simple. No, there's more to it. It's not just, let me just write some words. That's not what it is, okay? There's strategy to the email. Now, I've been doing this for over a decade, okay? So when I write emails like this, it comes out pretty naturally. Like, I don't even have to think about it. A lot of these tactics that I'm using in here, I don't even think about them. They just come second nature to me. Just because I know how to write emails that sell. Anyways, let me this is awkward because I can't switch back to showing my face. What I'd like to do right now is switch back to showing my face. I can't do that because stupid Facebook live stream won't let me, apparently. But that's okay. Listen, I'm going to end this here. I hope this has been helpful to you. Do not hesitate to ask me questions in the comment section of this video. And if you want to learn more about how I write emails, if you want to learn more about how I do my email marketing, if you'd like to have me write emails for you, what you should do is you should go to epicconversions.com. That's EPICCONVERSIONS.com. And you should join my email list. Okay, it's very, very simple. You can join my email list. I usually send 3 to 6 emails a week. And you'll get a first-hand experience of what my emails look like. You'll get an education in email, and you'll get to see the stuff I have to sell, right? Which I think are highly valuable products that can help you in your business. So with that being said, let me shut up. You have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one.